Hello, everybody. Welcome back to stream. There we go. Now the audio is working. So do you ever just have moments where you get attention from somebody, but it's not the attention you intended for? I just had that happen on Twitter, and I didn't mean for it to get this way. Like, I honestly was just like, "Oh yeah, why does he do what he does?" And I guess I confused his brain, or he was like, "What does this mean?" I don't know. I'm bad at words, and I just I just kind of was in this brain moment where I'm like, oh no, oh no, no. Especially because now I'm like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Because here's the thing when you get noticed by somebody, sometimes it's good, especially someone that has thousands of people following them. But then again, it also sometimes becomes something you question yourself for, and you're like, did I really have to be this way? And I just did that to myself. It's like time to bite it in the butt. So I'm gonna share the tweet. Here's the thing. When I tell you who it's from, you guys will question how or why. Here's why. So here we are. This is literally the tweet. You know, it's from not Avertary or Avertary. I don't know. I forget his username at times. And hold on, let me change where I'm at. I always hate that it does that. There we go. Here's me. If many of you who don't follow my Twitter already, come along. You can follow it. Someone retweeted it. Oh shit! Someone retweeted this. This is not a good thing. And I like that he did ask, what did they mean by this? No, thank you for respecting the fact that I use she, her, they, them pronouns. Uh, fun and yet unintentional. People bookmarked this? What? And then, of course, Hayden, who I know from his own stream, he's helped me out before. They're very awesome. Um, I don't know if I used the right pronouns. I'm sorry if I mispronounced you, Hayden. I like that he says that's Pisces being based, and I'm like, oh no, I don't think I'm being based. Maybe I am. I'm a little old, guys. I'm like, oh my gosh. oh, oh, I like someone else's reply. Ah, oh, but yeah, she's like, tell him that you're just being you. Okay, I mean, if that is just him being him, then cool. I'm weird too. But I don't know about being based. This is more an astute observation of Harry's odd antics. That's not me. Well, no, that is kind of me saying he's weird. Okay, I get that. And yeah, if I'm in trouble, then shoot, I am in trouble, and I am sorry. I didn't mean to come off as rude. I was not trying to intend that. I tend to fall into these things by accident. So, oh, what the heck? Why did my camera stop? Oh no. That is not good when my camera just completely stops all of a sudden. Because now I'm like questioning what is going on with my camera, why it's not working. Hold on. Oh my. Oh, I hate that. I hate this happening. Why has my video been disabled? Front camera. That's the only other. That's the only other thing I got going right now. There we go. Okay. I was like, my camera stops working here and there, and I just don't know why. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. What? Okay. This is fun. No! Oh my god. No, this sucks. I just pressed this because I have nothing else to do, and I don't know why this is happening. Oh no. That's Okay, so that happened. So sorry, guys. I did not expect this to glitch as bad as it did, and it's still glitching a bit. So it's like, yeah, I'm dealing with it. Actually, let me do something that probably is going to help it a bit, because I know something I am doing right now might be affecting it. Hello, everyone. Alright, let me take that off. There we go. Let me move this up, though, because that is a family photo, and I do not want my siblings being shown on the internet for their safety. But yeah, back to the point. So, I did not mean to basically be an a-hole on the internet by saying what I said. That now being said, oh, okay, thank you. Now with that being said and put in mind, I was not trying to be rude. I was just like, oh, okay, Harry does weird antics, and they're weird in the sense that I'm not used to. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my own interpretation of what weird is, and weird can be anything that's not normal to you. But, oh my lord, just the tweet itself, I can bite myself in the butt, or I can just take it as is. And I like that there's Izzy in it being like, oh yeah, no, just, that's just you being you. And I'm like, you have a good point. You have a good point. It is just him being him. But, Jesus, did I not expect to get blasted in 5 seconds on the internet. And, not even blasted, just, now I'm appearing on some guy's page with, this thing keeps updating as I go. I don't usually share stuff that is on Twitter, but let me share my screen so we see again what it is. So basically, he screenshotted my reply to Danny, and I'm going to look at the following thread, because it is just that. It's a thread, and then Hayden and I were just like this, and then all Harry did was speak bisexual and lie. Oh god, is that someone else? It's okay, Harry. I did not mean to make this out. Oh god. This is not. Oh god. That was not me trying to be mean. That was me just being like, for real, what does this guy do? Mainly it is this thing of like, Harry, every time I see him, I'm kind of like, oh, okay. He's kind of obnoxious. He's kind of annoying. But it's not that bad. Honestly, I think he has character. I think he's a cool dude at times, and, But like I said, I did not expect my reply to Danny's tweet to be blasted on the internet, and him asking what the basically, he's like, what do they mean by this? Like, for real. And then there's oh my god, there's 81 likes, a retweet, and 6 bookmarks, and I'm trying not to freak out, because this is kind of like all this attention that I did not expect to have on me at once. And this is the feeling of, I screwed up. And I'm saying this now. Harry, I do not think you're a bad person, and this is a public apology to you. I don't know. I just said what I said. And personally, I don't think sometimes. But I will say, it's not a bad thing. It was me just genuinely asking, so why does he do what he does? Like actual curious question, not like me being an a-hole. That's all I ask. And then I'm scared that people are gonna come in here and just be rude to me and dox me for stuff. Please don't. I asked a question that I thought made sense. It didn't. Now I feel kind of stupid for it, and I'm scared. Because it's like, I have this literally constantly getting more views as it goes. And he calls me Pisces. He's pretty cool. I like Hayden as well as appreciate Harry as well, because I think Harry is a bigger figure, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's okay. Oh, I wonder how many more replies there are. But, oh well, it's a tweet, it's there, it's whatever. And at the end of the day, we're all just gonna hopefully live with it. But yeah, Average Harry, I meant nothing bad by it. Like, I'll say this now, I did not mean anything horrible. I just was on Twitter, and I was like, oh, let me just, like, go on Twitter a bit and be stupid. And here's the thing. Don't ever go on Twitter and be stupid. I do not tweet much. Like, this is my Twitter for many of you guys who want to follow. It's also linked within my Discord. as you know. So, yeah. But basically, Harry, I didn't mean anything mean by it. I was just curious as to why you act the way you do in videos. I don't know if it's like a persona or if that's just how you are. Like, that's genuinely what I was asking. And I have the worst sense of phrasing, too, because I'm like, why did I have to ask it like that? Why couldn't I just be like, oh, Harry's being his peculiar self? I could have just left it at that, and I'm just dumb. But yeah, I was just being dumb. I was replying to tweets like an idiot, and yeah. Here we are, blasted on the internet a little. Or more like, I say blasted on the internet, I'm being over dramatic. Realistically, it's just like on his page for 8,000 people to view. And I'm a smaller creator, and I have like 70 of you, and maybe like 30 to like between 30 to 50 people actually look at my tweets, and maybe one or two of you come and like my tweets and stuff. But beyond that, I just kind of am like, oh, because to me this is a lot of attention. I don't normally get this much attention on the internet, and it's just a lot for me at once. So it's kind of this like mix of, it's definitely not Harry's fault that he asks this question. It definitely is a genuine, like, what do they mean? I could understand that if someone said that about me on the internet. It's just, I was like, oh no, oh no, this could be bad. And yeah, so it's just genuinely a question of curiosity of, so, is this just how you are, or is it more than that? And I feel dumb half the time. So now that I've said what I said on the internet, I am very sorry if I offended you. If not, if it's just literally you being like, what do you mean? Like, is there supposed to be something under that? Then generally the question comes from curiosity of just how you are as a person. Like, yeah. So it's nothing to be offended by. And also, I know this live kind of just cut out at like some point. Basically, I'm reiterating what I said earlier, and essentially, yeah, that's all it is. I also just didn't expect to see that tweet, like my reply, just right there on the internet, and it popped up on my For You page, and I was like, oh. So it just very much like shocked me, also, if you're curious, because I'm not offended. I think for me, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, because you have a bigger following than I do. So it's just kind of like this very daunting thing to see your own reply on someone's page, and then it kind of be like a weird, kind of confusing like dialogue above it. But overall, I just think personally it's not anything bad, and even towards you it was never anything bad. It's just like, honestly, half the time whenever I see you in people's lives, that's what I meant to say, lives. Whenever I see you in certain people's live streams, there we go, it usually is just like you are doing something that's usually seen as kind of strange or confusing, or things that I don't typically see people do. And, you know, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I'm really questioning why you're doing that. But it's not a bad thing. And I'll say that now. That question just was honestly about curiosity, and I just didn't want you to get offended. So I'm sorry if I did offend you. I did not mean for that to happen. But yeah, now that I got that out of the way, and as you saw the title of my thing, as I said, I'm based, apparently. I'll say this now. I don't fully understand what that means on the internet, but that's for me to figure out later on. Actually, no, let me look it up now, just so I'm not left. Oh. Oh, no. Oh god. Let me... Internet slang, there we go. Oh, okay. Well, that's a nice way to put it. I guess so. I don't know. Now that we're just like 18 minutes into a live that kind of crashed, and then I got it back at some point. I just, it's, yeah, it's just a shocker. That's just all it is at this point. That's just all a lot of shock, and just me going, whoa, and just just a lot. I guess the way to put it is I don't know how to feel. Except just, like, oh my god. Like, that is how I feel right now. Like, oh my god. That is so cute. Alright, I'm gonna open that up soon. Like, I'm gonna look at this and see if I can... Oh my god. Don't do it. You already have to save money. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my. Oh no. Oh my. I'm gonna X out of Twitter. Because, like, there's a reason I don't tweet that much. And half of it is because I don't actually know what to tweet. It's half the time I usually don't know what to do on Twitter besides tweet what I feel like tweeting. There we go. I just put it in the chat for you guys. But also, like, half the time I'm usually, like, not super into everything, but it's just, like, I don't know what to do on there. Like, it's one of the few things about growing up as a teenager, as the social media hype was on in, like, I guess 2016 and all that stuff. But, like, after that, it's kind of just, like, as I've grown up, the less likely I am to go on social media, weirdly. Like, I'm one of those few people, which is also kind of why I started lessening a lot of my time on here. But I do my best to try and update you guys. Like, I know I have an Instagram here. I have a Twitter that I don't use much. And there are older tweets from certain things that I kept on there from a while back. But yeah, it's just, for me, this is a lot because I'm not used to having my name known like this. And it's just so much. So yeah, if anything, you guys can just see. But yeah, no, that was just a first for me. It was a shocker. I just wasn't expecting it. Like, to be honest, half the time when I do get mentioned in a tweet, it's like, oh yeah, it's usually some kind of very chill reply, but this being a post and then them going, huh? Just shocked me a little more because I'm like, oh no. Because truthfully, I think every creator doesn't want to cause controversy on the internet. And it's this unfortunate thing of you either can or cannot avoid it. And this is one of those where I was like, I hope this doesn't become controversy. So then, here I am spitting out words. But at least they're words of honesty and they're words of like, oh, okay. But I also have, like, so much going on, too, in my life right now. Because, like, I'll be quite honest, guys. I just started filling out my visa for the UK. And I am scared. And I am grateful. And I am so blessed to have this opportunity in my lap. I will probably not be anywhere close to where these creators are, just saying. I have no idea, though. And I'm doing my best to promote my fundraiser as much as possible. It's on my Twitter if you guys want to look as well. I also have t-shirts going with it, so, like, help me out. But yeah, most of that, I usually link it. It's usually linked on my Twitter if you want to go follow. I also just showed you the Twitter page. So if you guys look at any point in the VOD, you can always find my @ and follow me from there. It's also linked in the About if you ever scroll down. But I have so much going on because I'm probably going to be in England sometime at like the end of August, beginning of September to start term for school, which is also why I'm not streaming as often. I made that in my last stream. Like, I made a big point on that, as well as putting into good detail as to why I may not stream as much on here. I also know right now, my brother and I, we're just getting literally the last, like, part for my computer. And then shortly thereafter, it's just getting, like, a monitor and then hopefully this setup at some point. I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to be next week, but I will say hopefully sometime at the end of this month, you guys will probably see something different, like different quality, as well as more games, more ability to play more, and also stream more. Because here's the thing, having a laptop, I can only do so much before I make it lag. And I probably will go back and play the Life is Strange Before the Storm again, because I know a lot of you, like some of you guys did come in to see that, and that was actually really fun. I enjoyed doing that stream. I also know there are many games I have saved on my wish list on Steam, as well as other platforms. Like, I have so many things in mind and planned for the future. I have a Discord set up. I know right now I haven't put anything big in the announcements, or haven't been really doing too much on Discord except for sending in my tweets. For many of you who do not follow me on Twitter, I do share my tweets, and I try my best to share my Instagram posts and any other social medias on there. Mainly because right now it's just a lot, and I'm just going through what I'm going through. I know at some point we almost were getting closer to trying to hit the affiliate goal. Like I said, it just has to do with I have a lot going on in my life. I have so much happening that's probably going to take a while again. But there's so much underneath it. And like I said, I did not expect to be in a Twitter post today. I'm scared that I'm going to have controversy when I am not sure. So that's always fun. I also planned on streaming anyway today, so this is a fun goal. Maybe we can do the cupcake game. And just so many things today that I did not anticipate for. And I was not expecting either, so it's kind of just a lot of something I didn't expect on top of just a lot of things that are happening in life. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what a lot of you guys think of what's going to be coming next time around, especially with me saying that my PC is essentially built. I just have to get certain things together and certain things done. I also have other things going on in my life that I am doing. I'm scared. I am so scared. I'm scared for the change that is coming around, especially because one of the things I've mentioned here is I'm autistic, and like I said, I also know that like a lot of stuff that I do or say sometimes does come off a certain way. I'm not saying, here's the first thing. First off, I'm not always saying certain things to offend people. I am just very blunt, and my disability causes me to sound a certain way. And two, I know that there's a lot of people out there who might misinterpret what I am going to say and what I have said. And I've already made my apology earlier on. It was nothing involving harm or involving anything to offend this person. It never was. And I never meant for it to sound the way it did. And when I read it, I'm like, ooh, that can be mixed. That can be out of context. And yeah, so it's not anything bad. It's honestly out of genuine curiosity. I probably should have worded it better, and I probably should have put a question mark. So it's like, but it's still, I don't know. It's a matter of the way I worded it was not great. I also do my best to not tweet that much because I know certain things don't get worded very well. So, yeah. But as we tread on, I have a lot of things going on right now in life. I may not be able to stream as much. I don't have a set schedule, and I feel like once I start getting everything together, once I get certain things all started and ready for my new journey ahead of me, then everything will go smoothly and swiftly. I also, oh my gosh. Don't we all love looking at certain things? No, it's, I'll explain later. Okay. So what am I gonna do? I think we're gonna just stream the cupcake game because it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Let's do this. I'm not mad. Oh, excuse me. Oh gosh. Do we want the audio to the cupcake game? I think we do. I know you guys like it when... I just hear it. Let's go. Okay. Here we are. Yay. Woo woo! Okay, so I'm gonna move this back down here for the purpose of it's not showing. I forget how much I have to lower it so that I can hear as well as speak to you guys. Because people don't tell you. Certain kinds of headphones just split. Okay, so we're still on Easter. Total tips. Alright, let's start. I also forget that sometimes I do not, like, keep audio on when I actually play this game. Like, I really... Oh, why did I do that? That was probably the worst decision I made today. Besides tweeting what I tweeted, but... Oh no. Ah! I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at my notifications real quick, and I'm, like... kind of scared. Everything's happening the way it's happening. I'm gonna... Oh my god. I'm gonna turn off the audio, just because I can't hear. Like, But yeah, no, I'm just kind of scared that there's gonna be something bad out of it. I don't think there is. But, I keep talking about it, and it's... I just need to shut up about it. So how's your day been, by the way? Now that I'm chattering on with my anxiety. Oh yeah, in college. So I'm not going to tell you guys what school I'm going to in England. I will say, though, it is within the northern region of England, so that's a good thing to start with. And also the major I'm studying is very different from the one I studied before, because when I first went to college, here's the thing. So when I first went to college, I studied psychology, and this time around, I'm going to be studying something completely different. I'll be studying creative writing, which is another passion of mine, and it's also one of my special interests. Like, they both are my special interests, but I realized after not only after just, like, doing a job in psychology, but also studying while I was doing that job, that I didn't actually want to pursue a career there in that field, which is actually very upsetting when it takes you not only halfway through studying that degree, but also, like, just going in to do a new degree, and you're like, oh my god. Well, like, one of the bigger things that it was a lot. That's the best way to put it. It was a lot for me at the time. I was 19. I was working in a mental institution as a technician, and I'm not talking like somebody who fixes things. No, I'm talking like somebody else who, like, works under the nurses. Like, I was working as a psychiatric technician, and for me, I didn't have a traumatizing time. I just kind of learned that people sometimes, when they go into those kinds of places, it can be very traumatizing, on top of already being very much a place that they did not want to end up. Like, I've dealt with patients who have literally been what people would describe off their rocker, on top of also, like, people who definitely just had a, like, the best way that I'm going to try and word it is, like, basically had a really bad time, and then it turned into something bigger than it needed to be. And, things got very out of hand. And for me, it was just, like, working there. Not to say it wasn't a good experience, because I will say it's a good experience in learning what it actually takes to do healthcare. And also, one of the things I've mentioned to someone else that I knew was, I was like, if you do healthcare, props to you, because you need to have a lot of patience and a lot of persistency to go and do that, because not everybody does. Not everybody has the persistence, not everybody has the patience. And I was shocked I even went through to doing that at some point. And learning that I wanted to do something completely different helped me out, I guess. It kind of helped me see that there was not only a different route, but there was an openness to go do something completely different. Now, dropping out, I don't recommend. I would say switch your major like any other person, but sometimes that means you have to redo courses, or you have to do completely different courses to make up for the ones that you essentially did. And it's just kind of it's a really crazy crapshoot, to say the least. And I don't regret studying psych. I think it's given me a lot more perspective, and it's given me a lot more care for how to actually look at somebody and, I guess, not just have better judgment, because it is that. It also gives you a really good perspective into how much better judgment is there. But I also feel like a lot of times when people learn psych, they're just like, oh my god, it's a really cool science. But when you start studying it as a field when you start taking more seriousness into studying the field itself, it teaches you a lot more about how not so cut and dry it is. Because I feel like everybody, when they first hear certain symptoms to certain disorders, they're like, oh, you gotta look for signs of this. When truth be told, it's not really simple like that. It's a lot more like a guessing game, because a lot of things tend to overlap with each other, and a lot of things tend to also get misdiagnosed for something completely different. So you actually never know. And it really kind of is, it's kind of shitty in that way. Because it's kind of like you're playing the guessing game of, you might have this, but you may have something else. And it can be really funny. But it can also be, like, so scary. Because you never know. And I think one of the things I learned when being in a mental hospital is also not only how much stigma there is around the mental health side of healthcare, but also just how, like, underappreciated and underfunded it is. And that was something I saw firsthand. That was something I saw both working in it while, while we were going through the end of the pandemic, and just kind of also going through a lot of just what I was dealing with. I was working with people basically 24/7, because I still worked my retail job, but at the time I was working both my hospital job and my retail job. So I was getting 2 paychecks in my pocket, like a paycheck each week. And it's scary. It is scary to do that kind of work. And sometimes there are good people to come out of it, and sometimes you get the same people who are there who remember you, and you're like, and you just feel bad. Like, I didn't mean to make a judgmental face if that's what it looks like. But, like, it definitely is one of those places where people don't give enough care to give it a new life, give it a better, I don't know the word that I'm trying, I don't know what word to put down, because it's kind of like, they don't give it enough care and generosity to be something different, to be no longer this, like, stigma, like, this big stigma. And honestly, it sucks, because I remember during my time working there, this is the only time I'm ever going to mention this guy, but Anthony Padilla, he made something from people who survived being in mental institutions. And yes, I will say there are people who go in there and have a bad experience. And I will say that the mental health care system is so different throughout each state, but oh my god, it can be so scary, both on everybody's end. And it also can be so, like, devastating what people do to people in there. Like, and I'm talking patients to doctors and stuff like that. Like, it's not, like, there's so many things wrong with it that there's also, like, no way for me to not describe it without being, like, concerned. And sometimes I'm just like, why? Why do they let this stuff happen? Why is it just, like, it feels like sometimes you're falling upon deaf ears, because sometimes it's not the patient, it's the workers, because they have so much judgment. And, and sometimes that judgment, I don't even know if some of that judgment sometimes is worth it. And I think that was something that concerned me when I was in there, is that you can't really be super empathetic, but you also can't be, like, a complete asshole, because it really shapes the patient. It's in how they view you, and how, especially if they come back again, how they are going to perceive you. And it's scary. Oh, someone came home. I don't know who. Oh, okay. That's not that bad for a score. But, like, it gets scary at times, and I think that was something I didn't expect when I went in there. Just expecting, I think what like one of the bigger things, and I'm being serious as I'm not making a big deal, is I did not realize how much, not how much empathy I have. Like, I have a lot of empathy as a person, but I kind of did not realize, as we're still stuck on the Pizza Pachinko screen, just, I did not realize how much, just kind of how much, not only empathy, but how much you have to focus on being a professional without also skewing the fact that there are things going on. And it's difficult to talk about this career mainly because it was something that shaped me in a very different way. It taught me a lot about things. Oh. That was... I'm not telling you guys who that was. But it shaped me in a way that not only put something completely different on the table, but it definitely put down a sour taste in my mouth. And it put it in a way that I just didn't want it to. And it put it down in a way that I personally went, oh my god, how do we have such a... It kind of put me, like, in this weird spot of, it's not great, but what can we do that could be better for everybody? So it was very much that kind of, like, thought on everything. So it's just like that. And I didn't expect to not only see it, but hear it, and experience being in a workplace like that, and experience workers who would say certain things that were considered mitigated. And I have no clue what to expect. But I'm not going to say healthcare didn't make an impact on me, because it did. But it definitely put a taste in my mouth I didn't want. And it's one of the few things... Oh, hi, Prudence. That... Oh, and lollipop bits. Okay. But it's one of those few things that I didn't expect to have such a very keen view on. Like, it skewed a lot of things that I have put down. But it also gave me, I guess, an honest look at things outside of the rose-colored glasses I wear. You know? But yeah, no. But besides working in psychology and realizing that I didn't want to do that, especially because I was working in something that basically is my worst nightmare when I put it down. Because something that I've told people before is that, ironically enough, I actually am freaked out by hospitals. And one of my biggest fears is going insane. You know? Fun stuff like that. And I found it very daunting that I basically worked in a hospital with crazy people. You know, worst fear ever. That's fun. But yeah, just a lot of that. And that career really showed me a lot more of an honest view of what I didn't expect. You know? And it's not to say I don't like psychology. I still do. I still adore psychology. And it's one of those special interests where if I could buy... Well, I can. But if I were to buy textbooks with the money I need to get textbooks with, like, I would. I would buy a psychology textbook just to continue my psychoanalytics, because I am a huge psychoanalyzer. But also because I like it. I enjoy it. I don't hate how the human mind works. But it's also understanding that the human mind has a lot. It does a lot of things for people. And I sometimes am like, dude, Survivor. Like 100% of the way. And I'm not talking about the show this time. I'm being serious. But no, yeah, it just definitely put something that I didn't expect on a pedestal. And things I didn't expect to see. Well, no, there were certain things I expected to see. Let's be honest there. I expected to see some things, but it was things that I also didn't know how to put down to words. There were things I've also heard people say that I definitely feel like in real life you shouldn't say. I've had people not believe other people, which is something that I found very tragic. But sometimes it was brushed off as you need to be that way because you can't believe in everything they say kind of vibe. And it's hard. It's very hard because it's healthcare. And I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's so hard because I don't talk about my time there very much. I really don't. Like, I cared about every person I could care about. I cared about working with the patients as efficiently as I could. I cared about working with people the way I could. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of bringing me to tears now that I'm actually saying it aloud, but I actually cared a lot. And I think my biggest joy was not the stress I was under, not the amount of time I was on my feet. I think it was the amount of time I had to not only try my best to give people a smile, but my best ability to try and be there as somebody that the patients could not only talk to, but somebody that the patients could look to and trust in a way. And I'm not gonna lie, I have seen my patients outside of this. Like, it's been since like 2021 since I've worked there. Not even 2021, 2022. So last year, it's been since last year. But it definitely is a career that I don't regret having as much. Like, I think I regret a lot of things that happened in that career, but I don't regret being somebody there for them. That's, I think, the one thing. And I was working with adults. I was working with a lot of patients who were much older than I was. And I don't regret working to make somebody feel like they were human at a place that definitely makes you feel like you're crazy or insane, and it's hard. I'm actually being very serious. It is very hard to go do a career where you have to basically sit at a desk in front of a computer sometimes and look at a patient and go, it's okay, everything's going to be alright. And just do it. And just doing that job. Like, it was hard at times. I definitely have been stressed to the max. I've definitely dealt with the shittiest of coworkers. But that, I don't think, had to shape anything. I think I just liked that I tried my best to make sure they felt heard and they felt like they were human. And there were times where these people were here on holidays, like, and I'm talking like Christmas and Thanksgiving, and some of them weren't the same people, and some of them were. And there were people who were there for months on end who they weren't even sure when they were going home. And, or if they were going home, if they were going into a program. And, sometimes I don't know, I have a lot of heart. A lot of my time there went into making sure the patients were taken care of. Even if I did fuck up in places. I definitely know that was my biggest joy. I think it was just coming in, not only to kind of deal with, like, the crappiest of work you can deal with as an aide, because, I'm sorry, when you're basically a nurse's aide, you get their shit end of the stick of, these are things the nurses don't want to do. But I did not regret being there. When it comes down to the patients. When it comes down to the way it was run, I think it could have done better. When it comes down to the way that they treated the people there, I wish there was a lot more respect, both to the parents of people who were in the facility, as well as the patients themselves. And that is, I feel like a lot of people go, that is hard to ask, but it's honest. But definitely, I think some of these patients deserved to have a better time there. And, you know, it's something else. It's not, like, I can only do so much. And there are certain things I learned from there that definitely have been useful outside of it, as well as, oh god, I got very teary at some point, but as well as, like, during the process that they go through, like, all these different things that they have to put up with I can't sympathize fully with the patient. Like, I definitely don't know their story. I don't know what they've been through for them to end up there, but I definitely can give a lot of perspective when it comes down to trying your best. Because I feel like there were times where I flailed. And I'm not saying failed, I'm saying flail. Like, flailing like I'm in the water, like about to drown. And I think there were moments definitely that that made me feel like I wasn't doing enough as an aide. But I definitely knew that everybody I would see who saw me work with them, they would smile. They would be like, oh my gosh, yes, it's that aide. She's really nice. She actually talks to me, or she actually takes her time to ask how I'm doing, things like that. Like, that warms my heart. And I'm saying this now. When you work in healthcare and you have moments like that, it is not easy, especially because the healthcare system is so broken here in the US, and it still hasn't really recovered from COVID. I even remember working through it. We still don't have full recovery. And I will say, it is shitty. And I think the mental health care can and needs to be improved in this country. But I will say, I think that job, when I'm actually looking at it prospectively, was one of the few jobs I actually had to not only build relationships with the people I worked with, but I built some level of, I guess, understanding and, remembering that it's my role as a healthcare worker to do this, but it's also my role to make sure that they're not in danger, that they're safe, that they feel like they're going to be okay. Like, I definitely felt that, and I don't regret it. I don't really regret doing the job when it comes to that standpoint. I don't regret really having to deal with that. Now, are there other things in there that I definitely haven't mentioned, more because they are grueling, but they happen? Definitely. There definitely is. But there's also so much that I look back at and I'm like, I think my biggest thing is I wanted to touch the hearts of the people in the hospital who were there because of something. And they may not say it, and you know what? Sometimes that's better than nothing. Like, I have funny stories of patients calling. Like, I've had patients call me the meanest of things. Usually this is the old person's unit. I got told this in the old person's unit a lot of the times. Like, they would be like, I also had a lady who used to call me a name that wasn't mine. I'm going to change the name she used to actually call me. And I'm just going to make it Linda. And, she would ask my name. Here's the thing. My name was plastered on there. You guys know my actual name is Emily. But, like, this woman would be like, okay, your name is this. It should be okay for a little bit. But sometimes she didn't remember my name. So it always led to her kind of going, Linda. And I'd be like, yes. And she's like, Linda. And I'd be like, yeah. And I can't blame her. She's at the old person's unit. And, she did what she could. Oh, crap. I just made a bad move in this. There we go. Woo. But, she used to just be like, Linda. And I'd be like, yes, what do you need? And I'd go with it because she's old. She's mentally ill. She's on the mental hospital side. Because here's the other thing. When I worked that job, I feel like I got off track. But, yeah. I probably did. But she used to just kind of... She just made me laugh. Like, that was one of the few patients that I would go to work, not take anything too seriously. Oopsie. And I would just go in kind of expecting, to be called Linda that day and just be like, okay, whatever. And mind you, my hair back then, I actually have to show you guys some old snap. Like, we should just do, a live where I show you my old hair from, my camera roll on here, because I have, a fun Chromebook. But essentially, she used to just call and go, Linda. And I would be like, yeah. And it happened every time I was in that unit. And I had seen her multiple times. It was not new. Excuse me. And it was just kind of funny. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm Linda now. But the one thing that saddened me was when the nurse heard that she was calling me Linda, the nurse informed me that they did actually have a nurse who passed away, unfortunately, from COVID, who was named Linda. So I was like, oh, that's upsetting. And yes, the name has changed. The name is not actually Linda, but I'm just telling you this now because it's that kind of story. But yeah, she would call me Linda. And I went with it. I rolled with it. I've also had patients who'd be like, oh, sweetheart, don't do this. And then in the next hour, why are you following? Like, I've had so much, both good and bad. But I think, like I said, my biggest thing with working there was I'm there to do what I can do. I'm not sure what everyone else is there for. Like, I was there to do a job. Not only a job, but a job that I liked, okay? Like, a job that I was okay with. And a job that I felt somewhat connected in. And I was okay. I enjoyed that I could not only got to do something completely different from what my normal was, but and besides the fact that it gave me a lot of stress, I got to learn new skills. I got to learn old skills. I got to relearn how to do CPR and first aid, even though I already knew. It was like nothing too bizarre in my head. But I got to do that, and it was just that. And I know so much is happening. I know so much is going on in everyone's life, but that was one of the few times where I look at it and I'm like, I might have been stressed the F out, but I think my best memories came from the patients, not the coworkers. Because there are very few memories from my coworkers that I actually liked from there. Like, very few. And I say that with a hefty grain of salt. More like a pinch of salt, to say the least. But I definitely have had coworkers that I definitely disliked for reasons that I cannot, not reasons I cannot specify for, but like reasons that definitely ticked me off as a coworker. Because it's kind of like if you ever done, I don't know, I think a lot of you guys have had jobs or have jobs, but you ever have that coworker who just doesn't do their job and you're basically picking up their slack for no reason. And the first time around, you're kind of like, hey, you should probably, pick up the slack a bit. And if they give you an attitude, then that's them giving you an attitude. But when it comes down to doing this every single time you're there, and it's just ticking you off, that's a, it's kind of a big old, now this is not ending very well vibe. Like, that has to do with, like, a coworker. Oh my gosh. I have too many of those stories from there. Like I said, I have a lot of good memories from people I've taken care of, or stories from patients that I've had a chance to see, like, get better. But I can't say the same about a lot of my coworkers, but there are some coworkers here and there that stand dear in my heart, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and there are also some coworkers who are sassy and were honest and truly themselves that I don't fully disrespect. I think they were good people. They also did their job very well. Probably better than I did at times. And, yeah, working in healthcare and working in a field that basically was psychology surprised people. Because a lot of people were like, what are you in here for? It's like, because a lot of them thought I was a nursing student. And I was like, no, I'm here for psych. And they're like, oh my god, you're a psych major? It was just a very new thing for them, because a lot of people in there were working in nursing or psych, and yeah. I did befriend a few coworkers, but yeah. But essentially, back to my point that I started this rant on, I'll be studying creative writing, and I like psychology, and I still love it. It's just, doing a career in it while I was studying it made me realize how much I actually did not want to do that. And even though it's upsetting for me in a way, it definitely gave me a different door and an opportunity to go, hey, I can always still learn it. duh. It's not the most perfect thing, but I definitely can take more time with it and definitely, like, personally, if I felt like it, read on it a bit more. You know, it's like kind of the whole, it's not the end of the day, but it definitely gives a lot more than I anticipated. So, there's that. And I like to keep that in mind. Oh gosh, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Love how you forget. But, yeah, no, it was just kind of those moments that definitely shaped up a lot of it. Like I said, I had more good experiences with, you know, what I did when it came to some of the patients rather than coworkers or things I've done involving patients that needed the heat of coworkers. It's more of a very, but there are good memories from my coworkers too. Like, there are certain coworkers I do miss dear in my heart. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been forever since I last saw Pedro. Happy 1 hour. Here's the thing, my thing that I'm looking at you guys with is delayed by quite a bit of time because of the stream going down for like a second and then me having to re-pick it up. So please bear that in mind. But yeah, there are definitely certain coworkers I've missed, and ironically, a lot of them have left the place too. So it's kind of like, oh, cool, you're not working there anymore either? Awesome. But also some of the people that I've seen who I worked with who left there, they were like, oh my god, you left too? And I was shocked because some of them have worked there longer than me and some of the other people I worked with were there for. Like, some of them worked there like 2 decades. And I was like, oh my god, wow. Like, it was one of those kind of like, oh my god, it's gotten that bad kind of vibe. I was like, what am I doing? But yeah, it's definitely a very daunting thing. And, yeah, no, that was fun. That was just something in itself. But yeah, no, but like I said, there are certain people from my job that I will not speak about on who they are, who I definitely, like, kind of haven't, I don't know why I whistled, haven't forgotten about because their personalities were so strong and very prominent. And then there were some coworkers with whom I was like, dude, chill. And then there were coworkers who I got ticked off at, definitely. And there were certain circumstances I remembered that I wasn't pissed at. And then there were some that I were. But yeah, it was just a lot more the professionalism and all that. But yeah, now that I've ranted about that job for like most of the time that we've been sitting here, what am I excited for when I go to England? Well, it's going to be a new country. It's going to be different. So really what's going through my head is I'm scared because there's a lot of things that are going to be different for me. I'm grateful to get as much advice from other streamers that I have. Some who actually reside there. Well, no, a lot of who actually reside there, and usually like through like either putting it in their chat or in some form of a donation message. You know, be like, hey, any advice, and then try my best. But yeah, I'm just kind of more in this realm of I'm scared, but I'm excited because I'm also pursuing writing. And also, I will say, when I was in college before, one of the bigger things I recognized was a lot of my English skills were being recognized and praised a lot, especially by 2 English professors that I learned a lot of my, not just learned a lot of my craft by, but by English professors who I met who loved my work. Like, they actually enjoyed a lot of what I wrote. They liked the way I wrote it. And I was grateful enough to have one of them as a professor twice, which you don't get to do very often in college. And it was fun, because that one professor, he actually wrote my recommendation letter. And I enjoyed his piece on how he wrote it. I loved how wonderful it was. I liked the praise. And I'm very thankful for him. He was a wonderful professor. I love the way he teaches. I think it's efficient. It worked for me. And yeah, I will say that's something I enjoyed. And I think that The best thing I can look out for is a professor not just like him, but a professor who can give the same joy and spark and comedy and humor and seriousness to a creative writing course, but into this degree. And I hope that when I go, that it's kind of not the same feeling, but it gives a really good feel to what you're studying, and that there's a good sense of critique, a good sense of what to look for, especially because I know with my work like that, I tend to take it a certain amount, and I tend to be okay with it. I tend to be pretty good about it. I tend to take it, I tend to carefully take my time to read it. Screw you, Dino. And and I do what I can with what I've got. So yeah. So besides I already brought up Twitter, and I'm just like, still, but honestly, I don't know if I want to check it at all. I think we're going to do this mini game, and then I will see who we can raid. Excuse me. I know it's short, but it's just because I'm like, so many things happened today, and I do not want any more technical issues. Yes, finally! We got a prize. Woo! We're gonna get a prize again! Yes! Okay. Ooh, I wonder what that's gonna be for. Yo! Okay. So, actually, let's see what upgrades we can get before we... We have oven boosters. Yes. Oven alarm 2. Double batter. Perfect. We're gonna get this only because it's not that I don't want the rest of them to have one, but it's because I want to be able to just do this in one go and not have to worry about anything else. Awesome. Now we have a fun upgrade. I'm going to press quit. That is the end of our cupcake game stream right there. As you know, I just brought up a lot of things. Our stream crashed at one point, and that's not fun. I hate when it does that. And it's behind by like a minute and some odd seconds, which I still don't like that it does that right now. Like, it's definitely aggravating. It is. There we are. Whew, I see it. Okay. Now, well, I don't know. We're gonna look at it. I'm gonna see who we can raid. So we have Tubbo here. But it's like his Tubbo Live. And there's my friend, Bo. I think I'm gonna go with my friend... Well, I don't know about Bo, but I can... Well, I'll do Bo next time. Alright. Oh, okay. So, yeah, we're just gonna raid my friend Bo. There we go. So, I hope you guys had a wonderful stream. I hope you guys understand why I'm so like, oh! Especially because I just brought up a lot of stuff about the person who tweeted about my reply and was like, what did they mean? And, so... Hope there's no... I don't think there's going to be any controversy, but, you know, I have anxiety. I overthink. I feel a lot. I have a lot of mental illnesses. And something I've thought about, but I'm not going to do because I want to be smart and still want to afford to go to school. I've thought about getting a pet. But I cannot bring it on campus because it needs to be a registered ESA or service dog if I wanted that to happen. Plus, I also don't have the money to take care of it right now, or the finances too. But it's a nice idea. I hope to get a dog in the future, or a cat. Both would work, honestly. I'm excited, I'm scared, and I hope you all have a wonderful time. Love you guys. God bless you.